Ahead on ABC 6 News, first at 4, honoring our veterans. A look at a Gillette Stadium ceremony paying tribute to those who served. Plus, tragedy in Massachusetts after a horrific crash on 495 North. What we're learning tonight about the fatal incident. And caught on the camera in the act, what police say they found on a Providence man during a drug deal in Fall River. Those stories in a Check Your Forecast starting right now on ABC 6 News, first at 4.
This is Southern New England's trusted news source, ABC 6 News, first at 4.
We begin with developing news at 4 o'clock. One of the 2 men arrested for last month's murder on Hathaway Street in Providence is being held without bail after an arraignment today. Miguel Perez is charged with first-degree murder in the killing of 29-year-old Brian Fernandez and 30-year-old Shrelia Ross. Tyler Freeman was also arrested yesterday. He's facing a murder charge in the case as well. Perez's next court date is set for February. An ABC 6 News update at 4 o'clock. 2 people are charged after a toddler drowned. Back in August, Warwick police responded to a Gorham Avenue home for reports of a potential drowning. The fire department tried to resuscitate that 3-year-old before taking him to Hasbro Children's Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Police charged 31-year-old Caitlin Nolan with 5 counts of cruelty or neglect of a child. 32-year-old David Holloway is facing 9 different charges, including child neglect and cruelty to animals. Nolan was arraigned and released on $5,000 surety. Hathaway was arraigned and his bail was set at $50,000 personal recognizance, along with special conditions recommended by the DCYF. Our other top story this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Today is the Observe Veterans Day across the U.S. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Tiffany Murphy. While there are many events going on all over southern New England, an organization based out of Rhode Island is taking their memorial on the road to Gillette Stadium. ABC 6 News reporter Caitlin Gilhouse joins us from Foxborough. Caitlin, tell us more about what's been going on there today.
Well, Tiffany, since this organization first started, Boots on the Ground Memorial for the Heroes, it's now in Massachusetts. It was only in Rhode Island at first. Now, it used to be only celebrated on Memorial Day that they would have these memorials at the Fort Adams State Park in Newport. But now they brought it to Gillette Stadium here in Foxborough. The organization decided to expand how they honor veterans. Now, today, 7,000 boots were placed on the field for a ceremony honoring New England's Gold Star families, each family placing a rose in their fallen hero's boot. This is the first time the Operation Stand Down Rhode Island is having a Boots on the Ground display on Veterans Day and also out of the state of Rhode Island. The display includes the Invisible Scars of War monument, which honors service members who suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder or other illnesses and lost their lives to suicide. A special wreath added to the memorial this year, reading, "We are all patriots." For one Rhode Island veteran and native, seeing the memorial travel to Gillette Stadium was very surprising.
Right now it's really overwhelmed. That's a great tribute to us guys. There's a lot of us. I've been in the military for 22 years, and they always say they've never seen people from Rhode Island, and here we are. And it's a great way to, talk about the guys that have made the ultimate sacrifice.
Now, the memorial is open to the public until 8 o'clock tonight here at Gillette Stadium. And for other weekend hours, you can head to abc6.com to find out more information. For now, we're live in Foxborough. Caitlin Gilhouse, ABC 6 News.
What a sight of all those sacrifices. Thanks so much, Caitlin. Here in the capital city, Brown University is working hard to double its veterans population by 2024. They're doing that through fundraising. In 2019, 21 student veterans were enrolled at Brown. Today, that number sits at 49. This fall, 22 new undergrad student veterans will walk the halls at Brown. Brown giving credit to the $25 million fundraising goal that was surpassed, giving the university the opportunity to admit student veterans through a need-blind admissions process and offer full scholarships along with financial support to vets.
And it takes a lot of stress away, which is something that you don't really want to think about when you're coming back to school after, X amount of years in the military. So that's been fantastic.
Brown says the money was also used for more resources on campus, like a full-time program coordinator for military students, helping connect students with military alumni. ABC 6 in Southern New England honoring our heroes today. Submit a tribute to your veteran by submitting pictures and videos to the Now Local News app. You can share their name and where they're from. We will share them right here on air. It's simple. Just scan the QR code on your screen to upload your tribute. President Joe Biden marking Veterans Day with new actions to protect vets. He's expected to make all World War II veterans eligible for no-cost health care under the Department of Veterans Affairs and expand coverage for costs associated with Parkinson's disease. The Biden administration also unveiling new steps to protect veterans and their families from fraud scams. According to a fact sheet, last year, veterans, military personnel, and veterans' families reported 93,000 fraud complaints that cost them more than $414 million. New at 4 o'clock, the Rhode Island Foundation says it will match every donation made to Trinity Rep during this year's performance of A Christmas Carol. The RI Foundation teaming up both with Trinity Rep and the Rhode Island Food Bank in response to the growing food insecurity in our state. Officials say the food bank served more than 80,000 people every month for the last 6 months. That's a 25% increase from last year. If you want to donate, you can head to our website to find out how. That's abc6.com. Cranston putting its library on wheels. The Cranston Public Library introducing the Branch 7 outreach van to increase resources to neighborhoods that are underserved. Now, according to the library, that van will visit different spots all across Cranston, bringing library services along with Wi-Fi and materials that you previously would have only had access to if you went to the actual library in the building. For more information about the van's debut, you can head to our website, abc6.com. Other local stories we are following for you on this Friday afternoon at 4. A teen is dead after a crash late last night on 495 in Lawrence. Police say an SUV was speeding and clipped the camper that was on the back of a pickup truck. That driver lost control of the vehicle. She hit a guardrail and then flipped upside down. 18-year-old Brenna Case was thrown from her vehicle. She was hit several times by oncoming vehicles. She died from her injuries. 3 other teens were in that car that went up in flames, but they are all expected to be okay. Fall River Police arresting a man on an outstanding arrest warrant today, along with drug and firearm offenses. Police say 27-year-old Ronnie Yanis Pichardo of Providence was arrested in Fall River during a drug deal. Police recovered 39 bags of fentanyl and about $500 cash at the scene. During a search warrant that happened later at his home, police found nearly 200 grams of fentanyl, along with a machine gun and even more. Yanis Pichardo is facing multiple charges, including trafficking fentanyl. He faces additional charges in Rhode Island for unrelated drug and gun charges. Meanwhile, it was sentencing day for a different Fall River man who assaulted an elderly couple at a gas station last year. 40-year-old Roderick Dixon pled guilty last week to charges of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon on a person over the age of 60. He was sentenced to 2 years with 9 months to serve. Back in September of 2022, police responded to New World gas station after reports of a fight. When they arrived, they found 2 elderly victims who said Dixon punched them several times. Thanks to surveillance footage, they were able to track down Dixon. A Woonsocket man is charged with possession of a ghost gun and drug trafficking. 28-year-old Douglas Fanundes is charged with 1 count of possession of a firearm by a person convicted of a crime of violence. Police say the 28-year-old, who is a convicted sex offender, made several calls to inmates in prison shortly after he was released, where he was mentioning a ghost gun. When police searched his apartment, they seized nearly 250 grams of marijuana along with the ghost gun. He's being held at the ACI right now. Happening now across New England, teachers on the picket lines in Andover as the teachers union there has overwhelmingly voted to start a strike today. Now, in a written statement to our sister station WCVB, the Andover Education Association claims it bargained 28 times with the Andover School Committee with no success. The teachers are asking for fair raises, protections for educator preparation time, longer lunches and recess periods, along with access to paid family and medical leave. Classes in the school's district were canceled today. It's unclear if they'll be open again after the holiday weekend. First at 4, a live look over Providence on this Friday afternoon. Let's get a check of our forecast with Providence now. Meteorologist Bill Guile. I feel like that live shot was a little deceiving because when I came in, it was very gray and cloudy.
And things are changing rapidly. Yes, it is happening right now. So actually today was a much better feeling day temperature-wise compared to yesterday, despite the cloud cover that was in place. We made it up to right around 50 degrees. All checkpoints got a little bit better down to the south, North Kingstown westerly at 52 degrees. But observations at this hour still fairly close to those highs for the day, but we're still seeing a lot of clouds across most of Rhode Island, but the northwest corner is already seeing some brightening coming down towards the Woonsocket area. In fact, I just looked out the window right now here in Providence and I can see it off to the northwest. So we are going to be getting some improvement rapidly happening with that cloud deck clearing on out in the next hour or two. And then the temperatures start to coast back a little bit as the sky turns clear. We'll see overnight lows tonight dropping down to around 36 degrees. There'll be some cooler spots and some spots not quite as cool. So mostly in the mid and upper 30s overnight tonight. For tomorrow, Veterans Day, if you're heading off to any parades, a little bit breezy and chilly in the morning. You certainly want to have perhaps winter gear with you just in case, but it'll be bright and sunny as temperatures work their way back through the 40s during the course of the afternoon. We'll have all those forecast details for the weekend ahead coming up in just a bit. Tiffany.
Excited for all that sun. Thanks, Bill. So Thanksgiving right around the corner. Aviation experts, though, sounding the alarm today ahead of holiday travel. The National Air Traffic Controllers Association union president is now warning that U.S. airports could be at a greater risk of near collisions. The lead National Transportation Safety Board investigator issuing a warning highlighting the strain on the aviation system as well as widespread workplace fatigue, including mandatory overtime.
Last year's controllers at 40% of our facilities worked 6-day work weeks at least once a month. And several of our facilities require 6-day work weeks and 10-hour days every single week.
Over the last year, the FAA identified at least 23 close calls. The FAA says it's working hard to hire new air traffic controllers, but training and certifications can take as long as 5 years. The Air Traffic Controllers Union president testifying that the workforce only grew by 6 hires last year. Just ahead on ABC 6 News, first at 4, what we know about an emergency summit in Saudi Arabia this weekend to discuss the war between Israel and Hamas. Plus, it looks like a fairy tale, right? Look at that. But the story behind it is far from enchanted. A look at why a pond in Hawaii is magenta. You're watching ABC 6, Southern New England's trusted news source.